We've heard from the planners, and now it's time to learn about what the suppliers are thinking. Here again, our panel host, John Williams of American Guest.
No 4 and King with a guest. Roger, you're loud and clear here.
Thank you, Tara, and welcome back, everyone. In our second panel discussion, we are talking with some of the leading professionals in the supplier side of hospitality. Hotels are at the very heart of getting people back to traveling, attending meetings, and enjoying events and being part of an incentive. How they address the concerns of the guest is paramount to their recovery. It's applied to everything from checking in to signing up for a meeting. Before COVID-19, the Palace Hotel in San Francisco never shut its doors. In fact, they didn't even lock them because they didn't even have a lock. So for the first time ever, they will be reopening with new ways of doing business and new ways to give guests a memorable experience. With us today, we have Kevin Boland. Kevin, we've all heard about the hotel's closing, but what we didn't hear was what the experience was like. Can you share some insight into what that was like and put it all into perspective?
Hi, John. Yes, closing the Palace, it was, as you've mentioned, an iconic hotel. First time in 120 years that we were forced to close, which was heartbreaking in many levels. The hardest bit was we tried to keep it open, and we faced reality with the shelter in place. We closed it, and then the difficult part was saying goodbye to our staff, and also what made it even harder is saying goodbye and not knowing when we'd open up again. But we stayed in close contact with the team, and we've stayed in contact with our customers, and we have the people who've stayed on property, which is a skeleton crew, security, engineering, one or two salespeople. We've all reduced hours, but it's been truly what we've learned with ownership and with our staff here and the staff at home is when it's a case of when the door closes, another one opens. So we've right. learned to communicate differently, etc.
Another thought I had for question I wanted to ask you was, how does the hotel plan on hosting meetings and events for the foreseeable future?
Well, a very good question. It's we first advantage of being part of Marriott International's luxury division, and Marriott has a program called Commitment to Clean, like a lot of the large hotel brands as well as independent hotels. It is an extensive document and planning and putting in procedures, and we're starting with that. Then we follow, which we've been told by the city of San Francisco is kind of asking us to take the lead, meaning the large hotel companies. We also were lucky that the Palace, we have 4 ballrooms, we have plenty of meeting room space, and we're in a city that has large transient business. So we will see where we used to have a ballroom where we'd expect 200 guest rooms on the block, we'd probably be looking at taking a 100-room guest room on the for the block for the same amount of ballroom to give more space. And also then we're working with our AV to really talk about the technology side, because we do believe going in the next foreseeable future will be in person, and half the attendees at least will be via what we're doing today.
Yeah, having utilized the property myself, your space is going to be in a good position to accommodate this challenging period from a square footage side. So thank you very much. Maverick Helicopters is one of the best known companies in Las Vegas, the islands of Hawaii, and the Grand Canyon. From their fantastic Grand Canyon tours, the flights over the Strip, and their high-touch approach to clients, including their arrival, the photography, how they engage, and the picnics in the canyon. Now everything is, to coin a phrase, up in the air. The corporate incentive clients would like to know how Maverick is going to respond to that new normal. Dan, what would you like to say about that?
Thanks, John. Well, we're excited to get back in the air for sure. We've worked really closely with the state governments of Nevada, Arizona, and Hawaii, as well as federal agencies and the CDC to create standards around what we're doing around the coronavirus. Our approach has always been the safety and well-being of our customers, our employees, as well as our pilots, to be number one during the pandemic and frankly prior to it. The additional safety measures that we've implemented, starting with temperature checks for all guests and employees arriving at the terminals as well as in our office, face masks for the pilots, front desk staff, as well as the guests. If they do not have one when they arrive, we will provide one for them. Increased cleaning and sanitation in all the common areas, as well as the helicopters themselves, before, during, and after the flights. We've upgraded every air filtration system that we have in every one of the helicopters. The terminals, the helicopters, the vehicles, basically anything that can be touched will be deep cleaned every evening. And for all the different offices, we've added private flight options for those that want them. And of course, we're asking customers as well as our employees to stay home if they do not feel well or showing any symptoms. We've sent the details of our procedures in a PDF to all of our third-party clients, as well as made videos for Maverick Helicopters and Maverick Airlines that we've posted to our website for the general public as well.
Thank you, Dan. It's really great to hear that you're following along with everything else, and as you've always led in this business, I'm sure Maverick will continue to lead in all things. We've got about 30 seconds left. What do you foresee the next 6 to 9 months to look like from a leisure perspective for the company?
Yeah, good question. We're starting, especially with Nevada and Arizona, regionally. It's going to look drive market, local market first, and that will kind of expand out as the federal regulations of when people can travel, air travel, and we will market that way accordingly. Right. Hopefully with, and what we think international to be last, but that's a big market for us. Right. So.
Yeah, I think like we've all seen in all countries around the world, it's going to be a regional, local, regional, then nationwide, and then hopefully seen international at some point. MGM has some of the world's most iconic brands on the Strip in Las Vegas with 13 wonderful hotels, including the Bellagio, Mandalay Bay, the MGM Grand, and the Mirage. MGM hotels are at the heart of what makes Las Vegas such a unique destination. With us, we have Robin Springer. Robin, how is MGM envisioning reopening its many hotels on the Strip?
Thank you, John, for your time today. In terms of health and safety, it's foremost important to have everyone feel comfortable when they come back and be safe. So that means our employees and our customers. So we recently rolled out our comprehensive health and safety plans, and that is shared on our website, mgmresorts.com. Further to that, we have easy to use graphics, which make it fun to actually look and see all of the changes, including touchless check-in and how to access PPE if you forgot your own mask. And now that the whole state of Nevada is going to be reopening, we are opening up on June 4th with 4 of our resorts. So we will have Bellagio, MGM Grand, thank you, Signature at MGM, and New York, New York. And so once we start opening up, we're going to do a staggered opening up as things go to give our employees time to get used to having these new procedures in place and to have our customers be used to the new protocols of having limitations when you go on a casino floor, or even having a hand washing sink in the middle of the casino floor as an easy access. It's going to be a new, interesting way, but we are ready for the show.
I guess they'll just have to replace those fountains with the sinks in some of these casinos. No.
Do you think we will never replace the fountain.
Just kidding. What do you think there will be any difference between what we see at one MGM property versus another at this time, or is it going to be, a brand standard?
It's a brand standard. It is parity across the board, consistency. We take these health and safety plans seriously and certainly want to make certain that we continue to evolve and add additions as the CDC comes out with new guidelines. Currently, we're looking at June 4th, groups of no more than 50 for a period of time, and then it will increase to 250, and then after that. So that's also going to be a good benchmark too for our groups as to when they can start holding in our meeting space. And we do have extensive options. 3.5 million square feet on the Strip alone with 33,000 guest rooms. So welcome back.
Yeah, if the Palace Hotel had some space, I think Vegas has got it all. So I think they'll be able to accommodate everything. Just to wrap up, what's been the hardest thing for you all to learn?
To learn that we have to completely throw out whatever we learned before and realize we've got to understand the guidelines of the CDC and then how we act, actual practicality. And that means if we can't have 6 feet distance between people at check-in, we need to have a plexiglass divider. We went to touchless check-in and really ramped up having the digital technology to be able to have our guests be comfortable coming in and having easy things to use. And then in addition, knowing that folks would really want to have hybrid meetings moving forward. And so we created a wonderful hybrid meetings package as well.
Thank you, Robin. New Orleans is
Thank
one of
you.
the most unique cities in all of the world. They come for the food, the culture, the parties, and the laid-back lifestyle. To be shut down for an hour, never mind several months, was unthinkable short of a hurricane. Well, the COVID-19 virus has proved to be packing more punch than even a hurricane. Stephanie Turner with us. Can you tell us a little bit about the changes we can expect in New Orleans? Okay, scroll. Sorry, we're having a little technical difficulty. Kevin, I'm going to come back to you. Um, how have you taken a leadership role in setting the standards in the San Francisco market?
Repeat that question. Sorry, John.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry about that. How have you taken a leadership role in setting the standards in the San Francisco market? So the Palace Hotel being, an iconic brand and been in there for, as you said, over 100 years. What have you all done to set the tone for the hospitality industry?
Well, I think it's collaboration and being transparent, and part of that is like my general manager, my boss, is on the board of the Hotel Council, who has direct daily conversations with the city, taking their feedback, being open and giving them, when they ask a question from the mayor's office, that we're giving them the honest answer, even if it doesn't suit us. Also, our area GM is the chairman of SF Travel, the collaboration in the city has been very good. So it's a whole whirlwind.
Right, it's a whole. Understand. Thank you, Kevin. We're back with Stephanie. Always in anything live, you have some technical difficulties. So welcome back, Stephanie. As I was sharing, with the COVID-19 virus, it's proved to pack more punch than even a hurricane. How have places like the Commander's Palace, Herb Saint, or Gallic Tours, how are they doing things differently today?
They're doing a lot of things differently and very innovatively. Commander's Palace has launched a big wine and cheese Wednesday. And what they do is they mail out bottles of wine and cheese to your house. And at 6:30, everyone goes on to a platform. About 1,000 people participate, and they receive education from the Commander staff. They're also shipping their food out around the country. Herb Saint and
sign me up.
The other guys are now open. Yeah, I know. It's really a lot of, they are Herb Saint's open. They're doing curbside and takeout. So quite a lot of innovation taking place in New Orleans.
It's good, really good to hear. And, I think I'll be signing up just after this. I think we're all looking for those different comforts from around the country and around the world. I certainly like my Junior's cheesecake in New York. How about the hotels around the quarter? How are they doing things differently? We've heard from Kevin, we've heard from Robin, but how are things in New Orleans? May they be doing things differently in that location?
Well, we're all focused on safety. And so what we're doing as a community is aggregating all of the safety and cleanliness plans. And then we're going to be sharing those with our customers and the community. All of our attractions just started opening up this past week. And so all putting together very comprehensive safety plans. I think that's, what all of us around the country have very much in common in this, is how to do this safely, how to bring back our industry strongly, how to bring it back, because we all love to travel. This just goes against all of our culture. We don't like to stay home and work from home. I would like to get out of this room and go to the office. So it's all about safety and cleanliness, I think, for all of us.
Thank you. I'd like to say thank you to everybody here on the panel. It's been a lot to learn from everyone. And on behalf of myself and the Team American guest, I'd like to thank you all. Be sure to stay tuned for some exciting entertainment up ahead personally and for all of you. And join us on our post-test telecast wrap-up party. We'll be available to discuss some of today's telecast and more. Thank you very much, everyone.